So excuse the messy nature of my hair and my hoodie. I was not planning on filming right now, but I had this thought and I need to express it. So, um, maybe like a week or so ago, probably a couple weeks now, I saw a post on social media that said we were never meant to, like see this much of each other. We were never meant to, and he was referring to social media. We were never meant to see into people's lives this way. We were never meant to, um, see like this volume of other people and know the details and their opinions and thoughts and perspectives. And then I watched a YouTube video where this lady was saying we were never meant to see our own reflection because like there's no reflection in nature outside of like water, and when you see your reflection in water, no matter how still it is, it's still going to be a little bit distorted because water's nature is like it's really not that still. It's usually moving, and as it moves, the reflection off of the surface of the water changes your reflection. But that's like saying we were never meant to fly because God didn't give us wings. And flight is responsible for countries being able to trade with one another and share commerce. It's responsible for people being able to see other parts of the world. Like if you're on an island, you know, it's much easier to fly. It's much more convenient to fly to a different country than it is to take a boat. And sometimes the conditions of the water are not always available for you to take a boat, depending on the time of the year and like all the movements of the ocean. It could be really dangerous. But God gave us flight. God gave us things like the internet and technology, you know, like for our own evolution. It's like saying, you know, surgery wasn't meant to happen because our organs are on the inside, and so we should just like let people have these ailments and illnesses and just die from them because we don't have the solution. Like God gives us technology, God gives us evolution, God gives us these tools for us to reach the next stage of consciousness. And I'm always critical of what people say when they make these statements suggesting that like we were never meant to. Like, who says we were never meant to? Just because we didn't start there as a species doesn't mean that this isn't part of our evolution that is meant to happen, that is designed to happen because God wants us to evolve. Like, if God didn't want us to evolve, he wouldn't give us so many tools for our evolution. If God didn't want us to spiritually and divinely reform ourselves, we wouldn't have so many ways to do it. We wouldn't have so many options available to us at all times for our benefit. And it's not just for our benefit, it's for the benefit of other people, because like I said, the whole surgery thing, people used to just die, like of very simple fixes, of like things that we take for granted now because most of us, at least in the modern world, in society, whether you can afford it or not, there's, you know, that's a different discussion, but like we have access to surgery. So many more people are living longer and healthier and better quality lives because of these advancements in the medical world. And like, it's a little bit ignorant to say that we weren't supposed to have social media. We weren't supposed to share in one another's lives if it wasn't in our local spaces. And I think there is a balance, of course. We don't want to spend our whole lives invested in other people's personal lives through social media or comparing ourselves through social media. But I see it as a tool. Even this discussion that was taking place in the first video where the guy was saying we were never meant to know how other people are living and whatever, I'm seeing his perspective, and I'm able to develop my own perspective because of the internet, because I'm listening to someone on the internet. And I think the most beautiful thing is my life has gotten so much better because of the people's stories on the internet, because of people sharing their experience. Like, I saw an ADHD diagnosis because I saw someone on the internet. I watched her channel for years and years and years, and she's talking about all her, like, her little quirks and her personality and her symptoms and whatever before she got diagnosed. And then when she got diagnosed, I was like, oh my gosh, I should probably be evaluated, because all the things that you were saying you do, I do those too. all the ways that you think and the things you struggle with, I have that too. And it wasn't only her, it was all the other influences in my life, including my own family. You know, my parents and I would joke about squirrel brain, like scatterbrain. We just have like bouncy brains, right? We like to go from topic to topic. We're good at it. But I wouldn't have been pushed or encouraged to seek a diagnosis, which, by the way, made my life infinitely better when I finally understood, oh, I know that I'm not stupid. I always knew that. But I know that there's not something wrong with me. I'm not deficient. I have a different neurotype. My brain works differently. It's not a good or a bad thing, right? It's what you make of it. Everything is neutral, and I chose to make it a good thing. But all of those choices and decisions would not have happened if I wasn't privy to someone's like daily life who lives in a completely different state. I think she lives in like Colorado or something. And like even like the way I process my emotions, learning about the nervous system, I wouldn't have access to that information. I wouldn't know about attachment styles and manifestation and, you know, our self-concept and how that affects our world if it weren't for the internet and resources on the internet. And if it weren't for social media, like I'll listen to a podcast, right? And someone will talk about something like the nervous system, and then I'll go read like scholarly articles or like find a book about it. Like The Body Keeps the Score is a great book about trauma. And I will read and absorb and like learn and study, but the inspiration just comes from social media because it's accessible, because it's approachable, because it's relatable, and like how beautiful of a thing that is. I'm such a well-rounded and developed person because of the access that I've had to other people sharing their stories and ideas. And again, this is all about the perspective that we were meant to have this. This is a tool for our own well-being. Like, this is something that we can leverage, and it's neutral. The internet is neutral. We can leverage the internet as a tool for our own benefit. We can become healthier people by using social media. I follow tons of influencers who like their job is to work out and share their meals and teach people how to be healthy. And that helps me to be healthy and make better food choices. And not just food choices and exercise, but like the products that we put in our bodies. My husband and I have been having conversations about switching our laundry detergent to something that's cleaner and more friendly now that we have a little one. And like all of those things, all of those details, like those conversation starters that we come across in social media are allowing us to be more conscious and more conscientious of how we're living. And that is a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful thing. But it comes with a warning. It comes with a warning that social media can be used to help you as equally and as easily as it can be used to destroy you. If you're on social media and you're following fitness accounts, but you're comparing your body to them, or if you follow those like momfluencers and you're comparing yourself as a parent to them, or like you're following those like home influencers or like their home is always nice and clean and tidy, and you're looking around at your home and you're like, my house does not look like that, and you're judging yourself, then it's really bad. Or if you're too much of a sponge and you are absorbing everyone's opinions on the internet and not taking the time to think, do I believe this or do I not believe it? Instead of just like at face value, oh my gosh, they said this thing, it must be true. Like, investigate it. And I've caught myself doing that too. Like, especially with influencers I've followed for a long time, I'm more receptive to what they have to say, but I'm still critical. I will still look at what they have to say and go, how does this sit with me? How do I feel about this? What do I think about this? What is my philosophy on this topic? And is it in alignment with my morals and values? Is it in alignment with my cultural and family traditions? And if so, do I want to continue thinking this way? Or is it time to maybe challenge that belief? And it really allows us the space to critically think if we use it that way. But if you're just bandwagoning, or bandwagoning basically means like you just hop on the wagon because it's there. You're just hopping on every trend. You are susceptible to everyone else's belief. That's why it can cause destruction. But if you are autonomous and you are consciously living, it helps you to be a better person. So let this be your PSA, your friendly reminder to use social media for your benefit, to appreciate this tool that we have at our fingertips, to Follow content creators that are in alignment with what you believe, as well as some who aren't. I encourage people to follow accounts who they feel like are opposite of their beliefs, because it causes us to critically think and to make sure when we do make decisions, when we do form opinions, when we do create what is called a mental schema, which is like a file of ideas about the world. It's part of our self-concept. When we form these schemas about the world, we're solid in them. We're really firm in them. We have this mental fortitude about who we are, what we believe, what we know to be true about the world, and that is so helpful to navigate life, because everything stems, your whole experience stems from your self-concept. Your experience in this world is interpreted through your mental schemas, and it's just something we cannot ignore. It is something that we need to be aware of. And I think if everybody became more aware, if everybody became more conscientious about what they consume, what they believe, the political ideologies they support, the understanding they have about the world, the way that we treat each other, knowledge and experience about emotions and, the nervous system, and learning how to navigate trauma and difficulty and stress, like everybody would have a much better experience here. And that is why I am on a mission to help women become their most confident and successful selves, because what that means to me is if everybody shows up as their most confident and successful self, especially women, we have the power to make this world heaven on earth. We have the power to make this world so beautiful, so functional, where people are actually helping each other, where nobody is selfish and like stingy, and nobody's like trying to power grab, and nobody's like fighting over resources. Like, we live in a very abundant world. World hunger and thirst and disease and all of that should not exist. Human trafficking should not exist. Like, war should not exist. That's a choice we're all making collectively as humans, and we can equally make a different choice. So thanks for listening to my rambles on this topic, and let me know what you think in the comments. Have you found yourself influenced by social media creators? Have you found yourself judging yourself? Or do you feel really confident that you follow accounts who are influencing you positively and making you into a better person? I would love to hear your perspective and see whether, you feel social media is good for you and positive in your life, or if it's negatively impacting you, and why. Thank you again for watching, and I will catch you in the next video.